Hi, I'm Susan. I love to teach. I love to cook. Let's get going. Oh, and don't ever be afraid to cook. Welcome to my cooking space, the Hot Stock Pot. Let's pick a recipe. Mexican quesadilla casserole. Oh, this is a nice, quick, delicious casserole. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is shred cheddar cheese. We need 2 cups. You can also use Mexican blend if you'd like. I just like the flavor of the cheddar. I do prefer to shred my own cheese because it just melts better. The pre-shredded cheese is fine, but it does melt differently. So we want 2 cups. All right, we're done with this. Next, we're going to mince some garlic, fresh garlic. You can buy the pre-minced, jarred garlic, that's fine. This is how you mince garlic. You smash it. That loosens the skin. You just remove the skin and you've got your garlic ready to mince. See how it just falls away? So the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. A little extra minced garlic isn't going to kill you. I happen to like garlic, so we're going to add some extra. Minced garlic is what makes life worth living, in addition to ice cream. All right, so this garlic is going to go into my little pinch bowl here. We're going to set that aside with the cheese. Now we need 1 cup of onion. So this is how we do that. We cut the stem off. We cut it down the root. We peel it, but we leave the root. We leave it there to hold everything together. Same thing with this other half. We're going to make a lateral cut like that, balancing it on the root. Okay, make a stab like that, rock it like that, rock it back and up and down, almost to the root, but not quite. Then we're going to make these kind of cuts, a stab cut, like that, till the end, and then cut across. And that's how we chop. And depending on how small you want your pieces, you can put another lateral cut in. All right. This is going to get cooked with the hamburger meat, so I want it a little bigger for some texture. And then near the root, you just chop it like that. And that's it. This is the second half of the onion. And I just want to show you kind of the size of the pieces that we're getting. So, they're about this big, which is what you want. Kind of 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. I forgot to mention, preheat your oven to 350 degrees before you start. That's what the casserole is going to cook at. Now we're going to get the juice of 1 lime. Oh, there is nothing as fresh and clean as the smell of fresh lime. Next, we have a 15-ounce can of black beans, and we have a 15.25-ounce can of corn, sweet corn. And we're gonna put them in a colander and drain them. And the black beans get rinsed as well. They're in a very thick, kind of gooey sauce. So you wanna rinse that and drain it, and get those ready to use. Like that, done. We also have a can of Rotel, I believe it's 10 ounces, Rotel, and that's just diced tomatoes with basically chili peppers. We have a 15-ounce can of just tomato sauce. We have 2 4-ounce cans of green chilies chopped. If you prefer to use just 1, that's fine. I like the chilies. It adds a nice flavor, so I have 2. And we have a spice mixture. It is 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of the garlic, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And that's all in one little mixture. And finally, we have a 9 by 13 inch pan that we are going to spray with cooking spray once we're ready, once we've assembled everything. And we have flour tortillas, they're 8 inches, 8-inch size, and 1.5 pounds of ground beef. And that we're gonna start cooking that on a medium-high heat, and then we're gonna start adding things and see how that goes. It's gonna come out great. All right, so we're gonna put our ground beef in a skillet, and under medium-high heat, we're gonna start browning it, break it apart. It's 1.5 pounds of ground beef. We're gonna add that 1 cup of cut up onions to that. All right, so we have the onions mixed with the ground beef, and we're cooking that till it browns. In this case, we've added the onion directly to the raw meat. And this is because we don't really need the onions to be browned or caramelized. The flavor will come from it being incorporated into the beef and just cooked. Normally, in other dishes, we would brown the onions and the garlic first and then add the meat and other things. But that's not the case with this. The ground beef is done. The ground beef and onions are done, but there's a lot of grease in the pan and that needs to get drained. We don't pour it directly down the drain because that will clog up the drain. It's an animal fat, it's a solid fat. So we're gonna pour it into a can, one of the leftover cans. And I have this utensil here that I could cover and hold the meat in and pour it right into the can, which I'm gonna do over the sink. So, because I don't want any, stray grease flying all over the place. So bear with me, and it's gonna go from here into here, the grease. Okay, see you in a minute. So, because this pan is so big and the meat is so heavy, I ended up taking a lot of the beef mixture out of the pan with a slotted spoon so that the grease stayed in the pan. And then I used this to lift the pan and get the grease out. So it was much easier than if it was still full with all the beef. So just be very careful because the pan is hot and the grease is really hot. And you don't want to get that on your hands, it will burn. So just above all else, safety. So next we're gonna add all the ingredients to the beef. So we take our tomato sauce, the black beans, the Rotel, the diced tomatoes, the corn. We want this on a low heat. Okay, we add the garlic, the spice mixture, and the green chilies. Oh, this looks so good. So we just want to cook it down a little bit, some of the liquid from the chilies. So now we're cooked, and a lot of the liquid has evaporated off, so we're good. Now it's time to assemble our casserole. All right, our beef mixture is done, so we're gonna spray the pan with a cooking spray, and then we're gonna layer the tortillas and the cheese and the beef. Okay. So first comes about 3/4 of a cup of this mixture, just spread on the bottom so that the tortillas don't stick. Then we're gonna put 3 tortillas down. We're gonna overlap them. So 1, kind of up a little bit on the side, 2, and 3. Then we're gonna put some more beef mixture. A good amount. Like that, maybe a little more. spread it out evenly. Oh, if you could smell this, this really smells delicious. Then some of the cheese, about half of it. Again, you could use a different kind of cheese. This is cheddar. Spread it nice and evenly. Then the second 3 tortillas, like that. The rest of the meat. And finally, we add the last half of the cheese. I forgot to mention that when the meat mixture was done simmering, and it simmers for about 5 to 6 minutes, I did add the lime juice. But I didn't want to add the lime juice while it was still cooking because it would evaporate. So I added it at the end, and just so that it would heat up and flavor the meat. Okay, so the lime juice is in the meat mixture, and then we just layer it like you've seen. Okay, so now into the oven for 15 minutes at 350 degrees, 15 to 20 minutes. And you may want to cover it at some point so that the cheese doesn't burn, but let's put it in as this is as it is right now and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Fresh out of the oven, bubbly, delicious. Oh, the smell. Oh, so this is red hot, and we're gonna let it cool just a bit before we taste it. Otherwise we will burn our mouth. But look at that, look at that. Doesn't that look great? All right, see you in a few. The time has come to taste our Mexican quesadilla casserole. And I, for one, can't wait. So let's dig in. All right. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. The tortillas are nice and soft, and the cheese is all melted. Look at this. Ugh. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. This is amazing. Give it a try. See you later.